materials or elements, no decoration, no signature flourishes would be allowed, only what was necessary. It was kind of a very spare and masculine style. Here are some more examples of really famous, these are some of the most famous posters from the period. And I think you guys are starting to get a sense visually of the connection between this aesthetic and what is doing in his film. This is what the paintings of the time looked like. This is two Malevich paintings. And I wanted to mention Rodchenko. I'm just trying to create a kind of intellectual atmosphere in which Vertov was bathing. Rodchenko was the leading photographer of the period, super famous, a really major kind of figure in that whole arts movement. And he was the first one to pioneer these shots that would be taken from a very high or a very low angle. So a lot of that aesthetic of Man with a Movie Camera is inspired by Rodchenko. So if you guys are into that, I recommend looking at more of his images on Google. And you can see how this constructivist aesthetic directly influences the poster. So the poster on the left is the poster for Kino I, which is the second newsreel that Vertov then went on to work on. And the poster on the right is the original poster for Man with a Movie Camera, right? And you're getting a really clear sense of those kinds of like future-oriented, you know, embracing industry, embracing modernity, embracing kind of volumes and shapes, kinds of aesthetics. We're not going to read this. This is just, this is Vertov describing in his memoirs how he got his first job, but it's him kind of really getting off on like trains and technology and kind of embracing all of that. So he starts off by editing a series of 23 newsreels. So first he's editing and then he starts producing his own newsreel. Together with Svilava and Kaufman, Mikhail Kaufman, his brother, between 1922 and 1925, each one of these newsreels would be about 20 minutes and would cover 3 topics: the renovation of the trolley system, the organization of communal farms, the construction of an airport, etc. And his goal was always to capture fragments of reality and then to organize them in such a way as to get to a deeper truth, right? This is what's important. He's not just recording things. He's trying to record and then reorganize so that something is revealed, right? He thinks recording is not enough. And he wants to get at a truth that is inaccessible to humans or that goes beyond what we can see with our bare eyes. And the other really big kind of intervention, and I'll end with this, is that he's interested in everyday experiences over both bourgeois concerns and special occasions, right? So bourgeois cinema is like, does he love or not? And then other newsreel, as we saw with the footage, sorry, somebody snoring. What is happening? Hayden? I think it's Hayden. I don't want to call anybody out. It can happen to all of us, to any of us. So the footage that she was using was footage of special occasions, right? And what he's interested in, he doesn't just want to capture special occasions. He wants to capture everyday life, but show it to us in a way that we've never seen it before. So basically use the technology to alter our perception of reality. And on that pompous note, I will end because we're out of time. But hopefully next class, I feel bad that we're always running out of time. We'll have the visit from the librarian, and then we will finish off with Vertov, and we'll also talk about Circus. For Circus, just a few things to pay attention to. So Circus marks we're transitioning out of revolutionary cinema, and you guys will see it will be our first traditional narrative film. There's an actual story and a plot. And Circus, it was the biggest hit of the 1930s. It's one of the first of the so-called Stalinist musicals. And its aim is to show that it's obvious propaganda. It wants to show that the Soviet Union is a better place to live. And what better way of doing that than by having an American who's basically a refugee? So the film is about this woman who has a mixed race child, and she gets chased out of the American South and finds refuge in the Soviet Union. So I just wanted to give you guys kind of a warning that it's about racial dynamics, and that it's going to be explicit propaganda, but with a little song and dance in there as well. So be thinking about gender dynamics and be thinking about how the political message is couched aesthetically in everything that you're watching. And then I'll stick around if folks have questions, but otherwise you are free, and I will see you next Wednesday. Sorry, I'm still laughing about the snoring. That was great.